Hey, everybody, this is Carl White broadcasting from the communications room here in the secret headquarters of the Mortgage Marketing Animals. And you are listening to Loan Officer Freedom, #1 podcast in the world today for loan officers. But I tell you what, there's one that's nipping at the heels. I have to look every week, go, are we still #1? And frankly, I haven't looked this week. So I might have to go look because number two, which is way beyond #3, by the way, but #2, I can smell the dust on those horses' hoof prints. How you doing, Steve?
Hey man, I think of us riding bikes down the Pinellas Trail together. I know you're doing 20 to 40 miles a day, and I've been on some of those bike rides with you, and it's you got me beat. You're running just a little bit faster, and I'm like,
Well, I don't
come on.
Yeah, but see, you know what it is, though, Steve. It's back to the draft thing, man.
Yeah.
You make me run faster. You do.
Yeah.
You make me
Yeah,
run
we both
faster.
do.
So when you get two cars running in a draft around the Daytona 500,
Yeah.
both cars run faster. It's not just it's just second place doesn't run. Second place is running faster than first place would run by him or herself.
Isn't that amazing?
So yeah, because it's a bubble of air that pushes the front car to be faster than they would by themselves. So, dude, you make me run faster. So,
hey, likewise, man. You know, it's been fun. That it is how it works. You pull different, you move different, you run different.
Yeah.
And just love being on the podcast with you. These episodes are so good because something comes up and our listeners get to hear what you and I do on your front porch. We sit there and we just sharpen each other. And this morning I woke up with something really, we're coaching a branch. I'm a producing branch manager. You're a branch manager, one of the largest branches, most successful branches in the country. I'm building a branch and we're producing, and I'm thinking about the loan officers in my branch that I'm helping to coach and lead. And Carl, I just couldn't get this out of my head, the two words, the difference between motivation versus resolve. And man, I think that comes from as we're coaching our loan officers and helping them have their best months ever. I think about Athena, brand new to the business, Carl. In March, she got in. Less than 9 months later, she's going to fund $3 million in volume. Brand new loan officer. And
for the month.
For the month.
Not over the 9 months.
No.
Month.
For the month. And she joined me in July, and just seeing the crazy success. No, that was Athena. And then Sarah is doing the same. You've got Mike and his crew. I mean, and I just think about, okay, how do we continue to lead our teams well? And the first thing I would hear is motivation. But what I was wrestling with this morning, Carl, it's not motivation, it's resolve. Resolve that I'm going to focus on the DSP. Resolve that I'm going to do the thing that moves the needle the most. We were on the Breakfast Club this morning, Carl, and somebody was saying, hey, I'm going to do a first-time home buyer seminar. And I chimed in and I said, if you're not closing more than 5 loans consistently a month, it's a shiny object. Resolve is I DSP Thor's hammer till I'm getting to 10 units a month consistently. It's what moves the needle the most. And I think there's a misconception of motivation. I'm going to motivate my people. I'm going to motivate myself, and I'm going to motivate the industry. We don't motivate. You were telling me a stat of how long motivation lasts. We got to have a resolve that whatever it takes, I will show up. I will go to Call Stars. I will make the calls. I will meet the agents. I will close for commitment. I will wash, rinse, repeat day in and day out till we get to 10 units a month and build our team. That's what's on my heart, man. I'm like burning with it. I just feel like it's so.
Did you have coffee this morning or something?
I'm passionate because I just see, there's two sides. You and I talked about it. Loan officers that are struggling, and loan officers, I can't tell you how many of them in my branch are having their best month ever.
Dude, I have to tell you,
motivated. It's resolve.
So I have to tell you, and I already scooped him, man. I already interviewed him for a podcast. It might have actually aired. It hadn't aired yet as we're recording today, but it might have aired before this gets released. Dude, Taylor Briggs.
Yeah.
So Taylor Briggs, part of the Freedom Club, and get this. This year, he made as we're recording this is the end of 2022. So 2022, he made his take-home income increased by over $100,000 over 2020. And so from 2020 to now, he made an extra $100,000 for the year. And this year, is 40,000 above last year. So while the industry has taken about a 30, 40, 50% bath, this cat is making $40,000 more than last year. And last year was $60,000 more than the year before. And so, so I think this motivated, how do you stay motivated? And how, like, what is it that sets the Taylor Briggs of the world, of the loan officer world? What sets them apart? Before we go into that, though, and I'm going to go down a little bunny trail here just for a second, because you said something a second ago, about, hey, before you start doing a bunch of other things, make sure you're closing about 8 loans a month first before you start doing other things. So I was talking with a loan officer, I think it was yesterday, and he said, Carl, my plan is I want to do 5 different things to bring in new loans before noon. And I said, brother, that's about 4 too many, right? That's about 4 too many. So of those, and so I told him, I said, man, of those 5 different things you're doing, which one brought in the most? And he said, and you're muted. He said,
we know the answer to that.
Yeah, he told me which one did the most. And I said, yeah. So instead of doing the second most, the third most, the fourth most, and the 5th place,
yeah,
instead of running your 5th place horse, why not just run your 1st place horse more often?
Yeah.
Like, why would you stop doing the number 1 way of bringing in loans to work on the 5th best way to bring in loans? Because I guarantee the 5 different things all aren't pulling the same. One's pulling better than the other.
I'll tell you why. Because there's not a focus. And this industry has been intoxicated with shiny objects.
Yeah.
And you feel like if I'm not doing a bunch of different things, then I'm not doing enough to get the business. And that's what, Carl, you asked the best questions. When you ask, what's the thing that brings in the most? We know what moves the needle the most. Yeah. So why wouldn't you stay focused on that? And then as you grow your team and you have a who can focus on keeping that cycle pedaled and moving forward and primed and pumped, until you have a who runs that channel for you or starts another, stay focused on what makes you the most money. We talked about it this morning. It goes back to, do you want to be busy or do you want to be effective?
Yeah. I think busy gives that sense of success.
Oh, it does. Well, that's how then when you look at 60 hours a week. And
let's look at how many hours did you work and how much money is in your bank account, right? That's, to me, that's my, like, when somebody says they're successful, in their business, right? Now, I'm not talking about their personal life, even though I think I've always thought the ultimate failure, right? The ultimate failure is to be successful business and not successful in personal life.
Yeah.
Because, if we get a pitcher of water and we dump a little bit of red dye on the right-hand side of it, we say, all right, dye on the right-hand side, don't move over to the left hand, only stay on the right-hand side of the pitcher. It doesn't work that way. It's like a smoking area in a restaurant.
Yeah, in a restaurant, there's no smoking.
That makes about as much sense as a peeing area in the pool. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Dude, your pictures are so funny.
Yeah.
Hey guys, that's the peeing area in the pool.
Yeah, the peeing area in the pool's over there. So go over there. So we're not gonna separate.
But that's a great illustration. I've never heard somebody say it's like dropping dye in a pitcher of water, because it does overlap. Your business and your personal do overlap.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. I've been there, right? So I'm not throwing rocks or pointing fingers. I've been at where I'm very successful at my business, and frankly, my personal life wasn't the best. Right? I wasn't being the best husband. I wasn't being the best father. I might not been being the best friend. Right. And to me, that was like, if you look, hey, Carl, throughout your career, what's been the ultimate failure? It was that short season. And thank God my kids were young enough that I don't think they remember it. Yeah. I was working too many. I mean, I was working too many hours.
Yeah.
Right. When I'm working too many hours, I don't have a relationship with my wife. I don't have a relationship with my kids. I don't have a relationship with my friends. Like, I'm married to my job. And that's where I found out, that I could start leveraging and focusing on a couple activities. The problem is jumping jacks, running laps, and push-ups might not seem sexy, but it's what builds muscles, and we're all looking for that thing that's sexy and fun, and we get a bunch of gold stars. And I was talking to a guy the other day, and he said, "Dude, my video got 500,000 likes and 100,000 view or 500. I think it was literally it was like 500,000 views and 100,000 likes." I said, "Brother, last time I went to the grocery store and I went and bought a gallon of milk, it was in dollars, not likes. So how did that convey to dollars?" Well, not yet, but I know it's going to, because it's, So, all right. So we're getting a little off track. Let's go back to this motivated. What was it? Motivated versus what?
Resolve.
I think what resolve means.
Well, the difference. So here's the difference. A resolve is a stance. It means the decision's already made, and I'm showing up doing the work regardless of the circumstance. So if you were to say, Steve, what's the difference in a Sarah, in an Athena, in a Stephen, in a Mike, in the ones that are absolutely crushing it in the branch that I'm seeing on a daily basis? There are some people that are motivated, and you said earlier, motivation only lasts about 3 days, which I thought was amazing statement. But resolve is a stance. Like I imagine a guy, if you've ever played tug of war, you dig your heel in, you grab the rope, and it's a stance. And regardless of the pull or pressure on the other side, like we've got, I'm thinking about Janine, committed to Call Stars. Guess what? You get sick, you show up to Call Stars. You get sick, you make the phone calls. Hey, I had an interruption. Guess what? It's no interruptions, because my resolve is the number one thing that moves the needle in every single loan originator's business. I guarantee, Carl guarantees you, it is the realtor relationships that are bringing referred relationships that are closing 1 out of every 4 people in your pipeline. And we have seen this stat move over and over. And Carl, I think that my passion today is I'm seeing it. The resolve is the stance of the loan officers who say there are no excuses. There is extreme ownership. I know what moves the needle, and Facebook's not doing that. Can you add it? Cool. The podcast adds it when you get to a new place. The social media adds it when you do the fundamentals first. And like, look, let me give you an example. If there's a loan officer listening today and you say, I want to close 5 units consistently a month. If I were to tell you how many outbound calls they have to make, I created this spreadsheet for my branch. And listen, Carl, here's what I did. I recognized, based on our stats and numbers that we coach to at the Marketing Animals, most people would say, I want to close 5. And here it is, Carl. How many calls you make in a week? Oh, I'm making 30. It's not enough. To get to 5 consistent closings, you need 11 qualified agents referring your business. You need to make 108 outbound calls, 29 talk tos a week, and set 7 appointments. The question is, are you willing to do the work? And that would be the determining factor. It's not a conversation. I'm feeling motivated today. Great. You felt motivated when you signed the contract. What are you going to do 3 days later when you don't show up to Call Stars because I'm not motivated? Was there a resolve?
Yeah. So
I'm sorry. I'm all like passionate about this.
No, this is good stuff. But this is good stuff. I like your resolve. It reminds me, I was out riding my bicycle with my son one time. So Michael.
Yeah.
And, Michael's a beast. Right. Oh, I mean, he is a beast.
He's done some big trips.
Oh, he's literally rode a bicycle from Rhode Island to Seattle. Amazing. Like literally.
Yeah.
And then he came home for like about 6 months. And then he rode one from Vancouver, Canada to San Diego. So he went east-west, and then he went north-south. Right.
Wow.
So the guy's a beast. So anyway, we're out riding a bike one day, and I've got 2 routes I do. Some mornings I do my 20-mile route, and some I do my 40. It's actually the same route. It's just the turnaround point is different.
Yeah.
So we're planning on doing a 40-mile, and I'm at about the 20-mile turnaround. And I said, well, you want to just do the 20? He said, absolutely not. And I said, well, how come? He says, because I made up my mind when we started this, I'm doing the 40.
That's it.
He said, so I'm not deciding. Such a smart kid. He said, I'm not deciding during the ride if I'm going to do it. I already decided it when I started.
See, that's resolve.
That's resolve. So let me tell you another one. Dude, the kid is so smart. He's so wise. Such a wise young man. So he's 30 years old. I remember I think he was 17 when he snookered me with or he might've been 16 when he just blindsided me with absolute brilliance. We saw a guy boy, I hope it's okay to share this. I hope it comes across the right way. We came to a stoplight, and there was a guy up there with the classic sign, "We'll work for food." And if you've ever actually offered them people a job, which I have, say, "Hey, I once you come back, I'll bring you back to my house, and you can wash my cars, and I'll pay you $20 an hour for the day to wash my cars," right? And I've had 0 times they've said. I've probably offered that, gosh, literally dozens of times. I've never got a yes, right? Not one. But and I get it, man. It's all good. Like, we're all on our journeys, and God knows I've had my times in life where I wasn't on the top of my game. Anyway, so we see the guy holding up the sign, and I always feel for those people, right? And Michael looked at him and said, "Well, that journey all started with one bad decision." Right? Now, I get it. Sometimes oftentimes there's mental illnesses with this, like oftentimes, right? And that's a whole different story, right? And that might have been the case with this. But my daughter, Alexis, being a little bit more, and she's a physician, so it makes sense, a little bit more kind-hearted, per se, said, "Hey, it might not have been his fault." And Michael said, "Lexi, everybody's equal until somebody makes a decision. Everybody's equal until somebody makes a decision."
Dude, that's a great, dude. Everybody's equal till somebody makes a decision.
Yeah, so I can decide not to do it.
Wow, that's powerful, man.
And so I stepped back. You didn't even have to move forward. I said, I made the decision. I'm not going to make my call. You're already ahead because you're making your call. So it can be a decision not to do something, or it can be a decision to do something.
Wow.
Right? But everybody's equal until somebody makes a decision. So in my story of Tater Briggs, everybody's equal until Tater made the decision. He made the resolve, is what I'm hearing from you today.
Yeah.
I'm going to follow the daily success plan. I'm going to follow the daily success plan, which is an absolute, proven, literally thousands of times by thousands of loan officers across the nation, literally represented, to my knowledge, every state in the nation. It's been proven over every market, over and over and over again. And he made the decision, I'm going to follow that plan.
That's it.
Right? He made the resolve. And he didn't say, "Are you motivated to do it?" Nope. But I made a decision, and I'm going to do it. So everybody's equal until he made a decision to do it. And while some are getting out of the business and saying, "Gee, I'm going to have to go get a real job," Tater's treating this like it's a real job. And he's doing the data success plan, the activity on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, and Thursday, just 2 hours a day, right? This is not like a 20-hour workday, like 2 hours a day. The dude's devoting literally 8 hours a week for prospecting purposes. 8 hours.
That's it.
Over the week.
Amazing.
8 hours. And the cap got $100,000 raise when most people got a 50% haircut. So, and it's just, it's making that decision that come hell or high water, I'm doing. So I like this result. I never really put motivation and resolve together, but you've kind of opened a door here that I've never looked at before.
Hey, well, I tell you what Michael said was so wise. The definition is to settle or make a decision about something. And resolve comes not in the heat of the moment, but when you start. Hey, listen, today I've resolved. And that's why I think timelines are so important too. It's like put a definitive date to your resolution or your resolve, and then just do it. And then get around other like-minded people that are committed to the same activities and the same results. People who care, people who feel the same feelings. We say it all the time. You're going to feel feelings, but feelings are fickle. And it goes back to the decision and the resolution and being resolved in what you've decided to do. And if you do it, I think 2023 is going to be a remarkable year. I think it's going to continue to be, Carl, the great separator. People that are not resolved, are set in their mind to do the right activities, are going to continue to have a harder and harder time. And the ones who are, we're just seeing crazy success. So,
it's like I shared with you before we clicked the record button that I wrote an article this morning.
Yeah.
I just was inspired, and I just started writing. And the basic question in the article is, how do you plan to explode your mortgage business and your income in 2023?
Wow.
Right. Which is a great question, which I guarantee my next 10 phone calls with loan officers that's what I'm going to ask them is like, hey, before we get started with this, how do you plan to explode your mortgage business and your income in 2023? And if you don't have a plan, totally cool. Before we do anything out, my God, let's map that out first.
Yes.
Because that's likely going to have precedence over anything else.
Yeah.
And not relying on motivation to do it, but resolving to do it, making the decision, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Even if I don't feel motivated. Because let me tell you something, and we talk about this the last couple episodes I've been running this, is your 90-day self from now, your future self 90 days in the future from now will kiss you on the lips, for setting you up, for setting you up to have a fantastic 23, because you're doing the activities that's necessary to do that. And you're doing a 32-hour work week. I mean, that's what we always talk about, Steve, with our group, is how to double their income by doubling their referral sources while working a 32-hour work week, and being able to accomplish that within the next 12 months.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just, it's just, what I think, I think what motivation really is the ability to future dream of what's possible.
Yeah.
Like what's possible here, and not losing sight of that. And if you're hanging out with other people that are being very successful, it's easy to stay motivated.
Yeah.
Because I go and I look and I go, well, gee, I see Steve doing these jumping jacks, running laps and push-ups, and the dude looks buffed. Yeah. And so if I keep doing it, I will be too. And maybe that's what helps us stay motivated is, we see the Taylor Briggs of the world, the Sarah Coxes of the world. Like we see these Josh Barrow, we see these stories of people over and over and over again, just having remarkable success. Yes. And they're just, and I don't mean any disrespect to them. They're just normal people.
Yeah.
Right. They're just normal people that stick to a plan, made a resolve. They don't quit. They keep doing it, keeping a 32-hour work week, or at least let's say no more than a 40-hour work week. So they have that balance, so they don't have that unhappiness at home. And so that happiness at home, or contentment, or whatever that thing is at home, can overflow into the work area. Or if it's not happy at home right now, that as we ramp up our business and as we keep our work hours to 40 hours, that we can, and as our finances start to get in shape, which is 80% of all of relationship issues is money. Yeah. Man, it kind of all kind of comes together. And I think what Steve and I are just wanting to tell you is that you can have an amazing 2023. You can, and you're worthy of it. You're capable of it. You're in the industry to make it happen. And don't look at, like, the market doesn't dictate our success and our happiness. Our actions dictate it. Yes. Our actions, our resolve to take action dictates it. So
I love
anyway,
it.
Hey, if Carl, I sound a little funky,
go ahead.
I just want to tell you, if I sound a little funky today, so come to find out, I'm allergic to a certain kind of cat. Believe it or not, like, we got cats, and I never knew it. But I was at a buddy's house, and he had a certain kind of breed of cat, and as soon as we left there, my eyes blew up, and my eyes are a little red, and I got congested. So if I sound a little funky, it's catitis. So anyway,
catitis. All right. Hey, well, listen, somebody's listening and they say, Carl, that helped me with a plan. Like, I want to know, how can I have it? Where should they go?
I would go to, there's a couple things that you could go to. I would go here, do this, go to dailysuccessplan.com. dailysuccessplan.com. I think that's it. If I remember, I think our good friend Frank Gray is on that landing page. But Frank's part of the Animal Nation, and I think that's really the Daily Success Plan. As at this time of the year, it's so critical to map that out.
Yeah,
and I would probably do that first before I did anything else. Is find out, what is a Daily Success Plan. What is that prospecting 8 hours a week? What does that look like? Look at the scripts. Who do they target? And it's just proven. Like, I know of no other plan, literally, I know of no other plan that has helped more loan officers having epic years when the market's up or down, doesn't matter what the market's doing, right? Our actions are completely independent of what the market is, right? That just having an absolute proven plan that you don't have to go, well, I think I'll try this. No. You're not trying this.
Yeah.
That it's trying you. That's like saying I think I'll try going to.
Well, that's the resolve I'm talking about. When you see something working, it's like, I'm not going to just try it. Like if it bears fruit, it's got results. The resolve is I want to go all in, and I think that's part of where it is, it's like, you're 100% right. You're not trying to see if the plan works. The plan's going to test you and your resolve.
Yeah. And that's like saying, I think I'll go to I'm going to try going to the gym. To get in better shape.
Lifting weights helps.
I'm going to see if lifting weights or running or bike riding or swimming or jumping rope or going for nice walks in the evening. I think I'll try that to see if that works. Oh no, that stuff works.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's you're not testing the proven plan that walking is good for you.
Yeah.
Right. And if you're bound to a wheelchair, get out there and spin the wheels on the thing with your, like, whatever gets you outside and get some oxygen in your lungs. Go do that. Like whatever your ability is, right? We're all at different abilities, but go do that. So yeah, you're not testing the pavement. The pavement's testing you.
Yeah.
And it's just, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? And if you think, you know what, I just don't want it that bad. Hey, this might not be for you. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Right. That's okay. And it really is. It's okay. If working a job where somebody else is dictating what you do day in, day out, and you're punching a time clock, there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with that. I've done that in my life. There's nothing wrong with that. It just doesn't come at the same paycheck, right? And for me, the life of freedom and making the amount, you know what motivated me, Steve? Let me tell you what motivated me, brother. So I remember one of the worst piece of advice I got as a kid growing up was take the highest paying job you can stomach. That was just horrible advice. Take the highest paid job you can stomach. So let me tell you what motivated me over the years that I resolved to be successful, to follow the daily success plan. When my kids were growing up, I wanted to make sure they did not get that same bad advice I got, right? It came from a good place. The person that told me this meant well. The person that told me this loved me, but they just didn't know what you and I know today. So let me tell you what my motivation was. I told my kids, like, I'll pick on two of them. So my Michael loves playing the guitar.
Yeah.
And when they were in high school, or maybe even junior high, and my Alexis, believe it or not, like, she loves like artsy fartsy stuff, like painting seashells kind of thing. So I've got some paintings here in my office that she painted, right?
Yeah.
Pretty good at it. So I told my kids, I said, Michael, if you want to play guitar at a coffee shop, and not because you're copped out on life or you got a habit you need to feed and you can't keep a job, but because you really want to play that guitar at that coffee shop, and that's what you really, really want to do, I do not want finances to stand in the way of you doing what you want to do. I want to be in a position in life that if I needed to help my kids still be able to buy that nice house in the area that they want to live in, and to have the swimming pool and to go on the trips, and he wants to play the guitar in the coffee shop, that he'd have the choice of doing that. And same thing for Alexis. I told her, if you want to paint seashells and you sell them at the artsy fartsy thing on the weekends, at the artsy fartsy craft shows and whatnot, and not because you're copped out on life and you sit around and watch Oprah and scratch your butt all day long, but because you really, your heart of hearts, your ultimate desire is to do that thing. I don't want you not to do what your heart's desire is because it doesn't pay enough, right? I think that's a horrible, horrible thing to do. And so I told them, so I'm going to put our family in the position that you can choose whatever you want to do. Now, you might choose something that pays well, but I don't want you to choose it because it pays well. I want you to choose it because that's what your heart's desire is. Now, as it turns out, my 3 kids, one's in education, one's a physician, the other's a electrical engineer for the Department of Defense, right? So it just by chance, they all pay well and they've done well, but it's because that's what they wanted to do. That was their dream. My daughter, her dream was to be a physician.
Yeah.
The other one was to be in education. And so I think to set a resolve that I'm going to put my family in a position that we can do anything that we want, that we truly want to do. And that when my wife says, honey, I want to go to Liechtenstein this spring. So that's where we're going. We're going to 3 places. We're going to Liechtenstein. We're going to Transylvania. I've always wanted to go to Transylvania. And we're going to Inverness in Scotland. That's the 3 places. And all 3 of them are based on movies.
Yeah.
Right. So Liechtenstein was A Knight's Tale. Inverness was at what's that? It's a series. I can't remember the name of the series now. And of course, Transylvania. I'm not a horror movie, but I just think it'd be cool as heck to go to Transylvania. So I wanted to put myself and my family in the situation that if we want to go to these 3 places, because we freaking want to, and when we go, we're not going to be crunched up, sitting on each other's lap on an airplane, on seats, 18 inches wide. Yeah, we're going to have a bed, so when we get there, we're comfortable.
Yeah,
and it's to make my family's dreams comes true. All I got to do is follow the Daily Success Plan. I do that one thing. That one activity, and we can do anything we want to. It's like, I remember Muhammad Ali.
That's amazing.
A phone app, one of my favorite men of all time. That man shook up the world, like literally, in more than one way. And I just an amazing guy. But anyway, he didn't do it by doing a phone app. He did it by running, jumping jacks, and push-ups, right? That's how he became the great man and the incredible influencer that he was, that took us out of the dark ages much faster, because he shine a light to those dark ages. So it's just doing the basics. So anyway, hey, we're running kind of late. So dailysuccessplan.com. dailysuccessplan.com. We would love to map it out for you and show you what's possible. And then it's for you to decide, hey, I want to do this or not. Either way is totally cool.
Yeah.
I know I kind of rambled there for a little bit,
no,
Steve.
Man, listen, it's so good. I just think it's such a great setup. First of the year, we've got to resolve that we're either going to do it or not. You know what I was thinking when you said that, Carl? If you're going to work 40 hours, why not work where it's unlimited and you've got the freedom? And the value of that hour is increased based on the effectiveness. See, I think it's not busy. I don't care about busy. It's the effective. How do I do the right activity that gets the right results so that I live a life of freedom in my full potential and I'm able to make an impact in my family, my friends, my community. And that's what it's about. And brother, I got to tell you, this is so fun to do it with you. And what a great episode. And our encouragement to you is you have what it takes. Make a resolve. Go to dailysuccessplan.com. We'd love to map it out for you. We've got a proven plan, and we're confident we can help you have your best year ever. So,
yeah, absolutely. And let me just clarify one thing. It's not just so that we make more money so we can fly first class to Liechtenstein, right?
No, but that's a piece of it.
It's about supporting 8 Little League teams here in our local area. It's about creating scholarships and putting kids through college that otherwise couldn't go. It's about paying rent for a single mother that's doing the best she can and just needs a little bit of help and paying her rent, or buying a car for a couple families because they just need a break, right? They just need a break. They're out doing the right things and just, things didn't go their way on a couple things, or maybe there's a couple bad decisions, but now they've made a turnaround in their life. And so it's not just so that we can wear a Rolex watch or whatever, or drive a Rolls Royce or Ferrari or whatever that thing is. Those things are all fine and dandy, but it's also about making an impact in our community. And money in itself is nothing, but what money can do is remarkable.
Yeah.
And what you can do is you can make a bunch of money when you do dailysuccessplan.com. So I love you, Steve. Appreciate you, brother.
All right, brother. See you.